I hope you all are well. I'm back again with another interview, and this time I asked somebody from USA to take his time out of his busy schedule and discuss his success stories with us. He started from here in Pakistan, and despite a lot of financial hurdles, discouragement from people, a lot of issues, he ended up in USA, happy and settled. So, first of all, I would like to give you his brief introduction that I also have to read because it's very technical introduction. So by profession, he is an engineer, and currently he's working as a geological engineer with a global engineering consultancy firm, US, which is renowned for providing engineering, design, and construction services for some of the largest dams, hydropower projects, and navigational logs, etc. This company is working all over the world, including Pakistan, and they also have worked on Neelum Jhelum HPP and Gulpur HPP project in Pakistan. Moreover, there are different projects that they are working, such as Panama Canal Third Set of logs, AMP Ohio projects, and many more. So he's working with a very established engineering or consultancy firm there in USA. Mr. Mirza, basically he has done his geotechnical engineering from USA, and he also holds his degree in geological engineering from UEG, Pakistan, currently living in Chicago. And he is ambitious, industrious, and likes to travel and read poetry, and there are many more things about him. So moreover, he is currently living in Chicago, and he is ambitious, industrious, and likes to travel and read poetry, and there are many more things about him. So let's move to our interview and have a short informal conversation with this self-made man, Abid Ali Mirza. And he would be discussing his success story, that how he started here in Pakistan and ended up there in USA, and what problem did he face, and how is he feeling right now. So a lot of interesting things to share. So stay tuned. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank you for taking some time out of your busy schedule and appearing in my show, Informal Conversation with Ayam Mufti Zuhaib.
Sure, sure. The pleasure is all mine.
How's weather there?
Weather is kind of hot and humid. This is summer in overall in the US, but where we live in US, it's a bit hot and humid these days. It's more like monsoon in Pakistan.
Monsoon in Pakistan is really humid because
Yeah, it gets a lot humid here also. Well, but it's nothing compared to like Pakistan. Sometimes it gets very suffocating to a point. It's like suffocating. But
yes.
here there are a few days that are a lot more humid than others. But mostly it rains like like monsoon here during this time, and otherwise like the weather here. I live in Chicago. Chicago is part of it falls under the Midwestern region of the U.S. Midwest is famous for its very cold winters and very hot and humid summers. There's very little in between. Like there's spring here, which lasts about a month or so, but we all say that that's like a shade of winter. It's not really a spring as per se. And then it quickly transitions into winter again sometimes early October, sometimes late October. Then it's like for people like us, it's different shades of winter. Although they call it fall and fall, spring, summer, and
but
then
it's
winter.
cold.
But
Yes.
it's cold. Yeah, it's most of the time it's cold. There are 3-4 months that are really enjoyable. You can go out without anything, like without wearing any outer wear, like jackets or sweaters or anything like that. But for the most part, it's cold.
It's cold. Yes. And plus, it is, I believe it would be very difficult for you to manage time because here it's morning, but there it's too late at night, I believe.
Right, right. Yeah, I've been up, especially for this interview. So,
Seriously, thank you.
yeah, no, yeah, that's all right. We got our babies to to get to sleep to get to sleep. But other than that, I was waiting for you to show up on. So
That's an honor, seriously, because because I myself was
uh,
thinking that it would be difficult for you to manage at this point of time because
that's
it's
all right.
12.
We are used to like when my brother-in-law was here, we used to just sit and talk at late at night. So it's all right. We are used to being awake at this time. It's not that late. It's almost midnight, but uh, it's okay.
Okay, so tell me, do you miss Pakistan?
It's been almost this August will mark the 12th year.
12 years.
Uh, yeah, that I've been here. But if you take out few months that I've spent in Pakistan, like I was there in 2015 for a project for 3 terms of 2 months each. So that makes it 6 months, and and then I've been there for like pleasure trips also. So yeah, I mean, when I think about it, I count days also. So I've been here 12 years. I left Pakistan back in August 2008, but I like to think of it this way that it's like it's not been so long, but it's really been long now. 12 years is a long time.
12 years. So, what do you miss the most about Pakistan?
Um, Family, friends, and just the overall atmosphere where people live close by, and this overall culture of Pakistan, like where people are more intimate and people keep track of, or keep in touch with more with the people.
And what about
So,
there?
and like especially
Hmm.
here, I have very little like interaction outside of like, for example, most of my time I used to tell my friends that I'm not living in Chicago. I'm living in my office because as a corporate worker, when I joined back in 2011, I used to be there in my office for like 10, 12 hours each day. And then, it was a commute of 40, 45 minutes and each way. So that makes it about 14 hours. And then you only have like 10 hours. And it's like the rest of the time you sleep or do the other things you need to
Definitely.
get to office.
So, I believe
So
it's really hard
um,
there, and job and
it's been
everything in US.
it's hard, but I think in some ways it's very good also, in a way, like for example, when you are young, you have the energy, you have the passion, you want to do something. This At least you have an opportunity here. You can utilize the opportunity, or your passion to become something and be really good at something, which is why I think which is why I like America so much, because there is the opportunity here to get exposure to the best of the best. So
So, if you make comparison between your life in Pakistan and USA, so what
yeah.
difference do you feel in terms of struggle that you did here in Pakistan, or that you are the way you are working there in USA? So, what is the
So
difference?
the thing is, I worked uh, um, as a junior engineer in a private consultancy firm in Pakistan also, and I worked as a lecturer too. The overall atmosphere back in Pakistan is like, people, they work hard at times, but most of the time the schedule or the things, or it's not that demanding. It's not very challenging. Is like I used to have few classes every week, uh, that I used to study for those classes, but it wasn't that demanding. That's been my experience. And then you are like, if you want to do something new in Pakistan, people tend to discourage you a lot. and this was one of my specific experiences because I graduated from UEP from the first batch of geological engineering, and I was hired as a lecturer, so and given the responsibility to develop a laboratory for geophysics um, subject. And when I tried to do something new and tried to get things done, I faced a lot of hurdles, which is not the case here in the US. If you want to do something new here, people usually encourage you, appreciate you, they work with you, and they really admire the initiative because they think that if you do something new, you are adding to the overall value of the work. But
True.
back in Pakistan, I felt that it's more like a leg pulling culture. They will find something in your personality, in your overall. And there are so many things that they can find, and just to make an issue out of it.
True, true. Even
That's
now.
that's that's that's
Same.
been my experience. Yeah. But then people are a product of their environment. When I was in Pakistan, you unconsciously learn what are the parameters for success, and you act accordingly. So I learned that my lesson back in Pakistan, that if you keep following, and you keep whatever orders are given to you, or whatever, just keep quiet and uh, do whatever you need to do to get stuff done. You'll be okay. I mean, you can progress. uh, a lot of people are like, they are psychophants. They just praise your bosses, and
True.
that's the way to move forward. Here is that's not the case. Uh, they can assess your genuine ability here. They wouldn't be fooled with your with your fake attempts at being good at something that you do.
True.
So they can easily assess your ability, and they will deal with you accordingly. That's the difference I felt, and I think that's the difference overall also in our society and in American society. That there is a difference. It's not that they don't give work to people who are incompetent, but they won't let the incompetent people to be at the top. So they have a way of differentiating between capable people and otherwise.
So that's really positive. But Mr.
Yeah.
Abid, we heard a lot of rumors that people are really biased against minorities there in USA. So is it true? I mean, are they giving better opportunities to their own people or less opportunities to people who are coming from other countries?
See, there is like, nobody can say that they are truly unbiased. I cannot say that. I if I go out, and we grew up in Pakistan. Although like Pakistan is a third world country itself, but we tend to disregard the black people, as bad as people in America, or maybe even worse than what people do here in America.
True.
So in terms of opportunity, I wouldn't say that there is no discrimination. There is discrimination, but it's at a level, or it's at a point where it's humanly impossible to totally eradicate that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not so obvious that you are being mistreated because of your race, or your origin, or your nationality, or stuff like that. Of course, there is a difference between somebody who's born here, who's gone to schools here, who's more familiar with overall culture and overall stuff, like how things are done. They are better at things because they have had the opportunity to be here for so long, right? They're born here. They know everything, right? But somebody who comes from abroad, I believe, like myself, I was given a fair chance at every turn, and I was appreciated based on my ability, my whatever I contributed to my work, and I see that that is the reason why corporate America, although it's it's a bit harsh at times. You feel like you're putting in too much of an effort, but at the same time, it's their need to have the best people come in and take the lead on their projects.
Nice.
Because they wouldn't be able to be the best if they don't let everybody try to be their best.
Yes.
So it's in a way their need to be inclusive and give opportunity to everybody who's capable or who shows that he's his eagerness to learn and to be exposed to opportunities. That is something that it's both ways. Like it's their need also, and in the same way, for somebody like myself, it was my need also to be exposed to those projects. So I wouldn't say that they are biased, but there's difference. Like any society in America or in Pakistan, there are different people, right? So people who are educated, people who are well traveled, or who have educated people, they do not misbehave or mistreat any minorities here. I mean, I've never seen such a thing, or I've never been mistreated, or just because of my color or my origin, never. But to say that that is not the case for everybody, or like it's not there, that would also be wrong. So you know what I'm saying? Like there is, if you go to some like far-flung area of America and you happen to be at the wrong place at the wrong time, you could face something like that, But fortunately for myself, I've never had any bad experience with anybody. All I can say is they're very accommodating people. They give fair chances to people, to foreigners, and maybe it's because I've lived in a bubble. Like I've been to the like among the best schools, grad schools in America, and then I've been part of a very well renowned global organization, and they have their own culture. They would probably not. I wouldn't probably get along so well because there are so many reasons for that. It's not just the to begin with. It could be the reason that the impression that we bring along, like saying that we are from Pakistan or from the first thing that comes to their mind is Taliban. So they say like how come you're here, stuff like that. But at the same time, professionally speaking, my experience has been very good. I'm sure people in like such people are there in Pakistan also who wouldn't let just a different sect in Islam. They're all Muslims, but they wouldn't let them live peacefully, so or do their rituals peacefully. So in terms of comparison, like if you say which one is worse, definitely in terms of violence being perpetrated against minorities, Pakistan, like any other third world country, like India or any other country, is not comparable to US. I mean,
Yes.
it's not like people mistreat, or they can barge into your house and kill you or mistreat you, or that's not something that happens here.
Nice.
There is systematic discrimination, but that is something that they are working on. But I believe totally eradicating bias from humans I believe is a very hard, challenging task. It cannot be done. We cannot be totally unbiased.
True.
If I say so, I'm being unhonest. I mean, I'm not telling the truth if I say I'm not.
True.
Of
True.
course, I'm
Because
biased
it's the
towards
nature. It's the human nature.
Pakistani
Yes.
people. It's the human nature, right? So,
Yes.
of course, I'm biased towards Pakistani. I prefer Pakistani people. I would like to hang out with people who belong to the same culture, who can
True.
understand me,
Hmm.
who can relate with me, who
Hmm.
can, have the same habits or same, things like myself. So I would say it's humanly like that.
Nice. Okay, as far I know, Mr. Abid, you are the self-made man. I mean, even here in
Yeah.
Pakistan, you achieved everything at your own, and even there in USA, you
Yeah.
did everything by your hard work, your persistence. So, would you like to
Right.
highlight this factor? Like, how did you develop yourself? How did you achieve, like, here in Pakistan? And how
Yeah.
did you move there? How
Yeah.
did you secure a
I
scholarship in
think
Pakistan? That is a
yeah,
very hard task.
yeah. Uh, I think when I was growing up back in Pakistan, I was part. We were living in a joint family system, and I was a sensitive child. You could say that, and I felt like the only way to try to get over those circumstances was to get myself educated and move ahead in life. So I felt that at an early age. So that's why I put some effort in studying and got good grades, of course, and then was fortunate to be admitted to the engineering college, UET Lahore, and of course I had some struggles with maintaining my financial status and paying fees sometimes. Or but I found like I think it's when you decide to do something, uh, everything else is a matter of your uh, you can do that. So like they say, where there's a will, there's a way, right? When you want to do something, you find a way to do it, right?
True.
So um, I liked when I got to UET, I got the opportunity to teach other kids. Um I was home tutor for a couple of kids, and I think that made a lot of difference. And I felt good about it too. I mean, even at that time, I had friends who had their monthly stipend coming in from their families, but I was being on my own. I had to put in some effort to get to that status, but I really liked. I was proud of that too at that time, even that I'm doing it by myself. I'm being independent. So there is a satisfaction in being independent. That I started feeling at an early age. So that helped me get through a lot of things. So when I first graduated from my bachelor's degree, I was offered a job as a junior engineer with Pakistan Engineering Services Private Limited. It's a private consultancy firm based out of defense, and they've done some pretty good work. So I was posted to a project downstream of Mangla. That was the name of the project was Bomb Canal Hydropower project. That was the first hydropower project that was being developed in Pakistan privately. So I spent a few months there, but then I got the opportunity to. I heard about an MS program at NUST in Islamabad, so I tried to get admitted there. But in the meantime, I got the opportunity. This lectureship was announced in the newspaper, and lectureship positions were announced in the newspaper. So, and I was the one next position holder to be considered. So I got the opportunity to come to UET as a lecturer also. That was a great honor for me because I had studied from UET, and teaching there is really an honor. Was really an honor. But then the scholarship part, I was teaching. I was young. We had time. So I studied for GRE, the Graduate Record Examination, and I took a lot of these local GRE tests, which were at that time they were called NTS tests, I believe.
Even
I
now.
don't know if they have
Even now
even now
it's
they have
NTS,
those tests.
yes, yes.
Yeah, so I like to say that I was a figure among the ciphers. I was a little better than others, so not a whole lot. But I took the graduate record examination also for admission to US universities, and took TOEFL also, uh, and I did well on those two tests. And then when the opportunity came for the scholarship, based on my credentials, I was awarded the scholarship. Um, and I had the opportunity to go to several countries. Like at first I thought to go to Thailand. There's a very well-renowned institute there also for our studies, but I declined. And then there was an opportunity to go to Germany. I said no. Then there was an opportunity to go to UK, Canada, but for some reason, right from the beginning, in my mind, I had this thing that I had to go to US because uh, maybe I was influenced by their culture. Like I'd seen movies, like Hollywood movies, or uh, but more specifically because my teachers who had studied from the US, they were visibly and very different from people who had studied from anywhere else. So that contributed to that decision a lot because I had seen the difference in the approach, in the personality, in mentality, in attitude, in so many other things that I really admired the people who had done their PhDs from U.S. universities, and I kind of knew that they have a very strong uh, uh, this research approach where you just don't do research, you also take courses in those subjects. So which is in if you want to do a PhD in UK, I believe it's a 3-year term. That's what I've heard. That's what I've learned from people who have done their PhDs from UK. That is a definite period of time that you go and you pick up a topic and you do research, and it's I'm not saying that's bad or that's invaluable, but I'm saying that's a different approach to research there than compared to US, because in US you don't get to decide when you get done with your PhD. It's based on the outcomes of your research. It's based on the coursework that you've done. And it may take you 4 years. It may take you 6 years. It may take you may be done in 3 years, depending on how you do your research. So it's more competitive than a time dependent degree. Because I have friends who have done their PhDs from Japan or UK that have had the same experience. So I had some inkling of this difference in education system back in Pakistan also. So that prompted me to come to push for some place in US, and I decided to come to Virginia Tech, which is not Harvard or is not MIT, but for our discipline, civil engineering, and especially the branch of civil engineering that I chose, geotechnical engineering, is a very well-renowned school, grad school. They have a very strong academic program, and then they have a very strong research group also. So I had a couple of people. I knew a couple of people who were there already. So I had the good fortune to be in touch with them, and they guided me through that process too. But I was lucky in that regard also, that I got the admission because a couple of my friends, they were rejected the admission also at the same university. So when I arrived in back in 2008, I started my graduate program, um, taking several courses and then moving on to research. I was working on this interferometry, which is the, you take satellite images and you try to monitor the health of levees, which is it's kind of like a small dam, which you build to protect against floods. Uh, so that for that one, my advisor was not being very helpful, and I got this opportunity to this job offer in Chicago through one job posting, and I applied for that. I came here for an interview. Uh, they liked me, I liked them, so they offered me a job. And at that time, there is a program in the US that's called Optional Practical Training (OPT) that you do after your graduate studies if you come on a student visa. So that is usually a way for the to get immigration to US. But at my when I was already into my PhD program, so when they hired me, they had to directly go for H1B visa. So which is a non-immigrant visa, but it's a kind of like a work what do you call work visa. Uh, that I stayed on that visa for about 6 years before they started my immigration process, and now I hold a permanent residence in the U.S. But at the on the way to this to now, I aimed for a PhD program, but then when I came here and the circumstances turned into a direction where I had to leave PhD and move into industry. Uh, but that's not something I had decided when I came here. My aim was to complete PhD and go back and teach. But the circumstances led me to this position, and then once I learned that this company also works in Pakistan, I kind of felt that serving your country you can do so many ways. It's not just teaching. So I was very fortunate to be able to go to Pakistan as a expat consultant back in 2015 for a project in um, near Kotli, Azad Kashmir. This was the second privately developed hydropower project in Pakistan's history, and I was there for about 6 months. And we also provided the design and construction supervision services for the Neelum Jhelum project, which is quite famous in Pakistan. I believe people know about it. And now our company is positioning to provide services for Moment Dam, which is already in construction, and for Basha, the new Basha Dam also. We have been contracted with Pata. So I feel like this has been this has been the nature's way of guiding me to the spot where I am right now. But I never intended to at the time when I was coming to US. My intention was to come here, do my graduate studies, and go back to Pakistan and teach at UET. Uh, but things have turned out to be different than that. But when I was deciding for the universities, I used to say that uh, if you aim for the moon, you'll at least fall among the stars. So that's been my guiding principle. That when you are young, when you are passionate, when you believe in yourself, you should try and aim higher. You know, because you don't get life twice, right? And I, for some reason, I never tried for anything else in my life. Like people when they're young, they try to go like in Pakistan. I was growing up, people used to try to get into army or go to another like some other field. I never thought about that. I was unidirectional. Never thought about anything else.
Very
I
nice.
I don't know if it's been I don't know if it's been too long, but I feel like I've been speaking for a long time now.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Abid, for being here
Uh,
with us, and you shared such a inspiring story with us. So thank you very much for your time. And if you
sure.
have any last words to share with the audience, please go ahead.
Um, all I will say is that the road to success is never a straight road. It's always it's you have to find your own way. And it may not be what you aimed for when you began with, but if you have pure intentions, if you are dedicated, if you can work hard, you will find your way and you will succeed in whatever you're trying to achieve. So I just tell people that be sincere with whatever you're trying to do, and help will come in ways that you wouldn't have imagined.
True.
So that'll be all from my side.
Very nice words, very motivating and inspiring. So thank you for being with us. Take care, and we
Sure.
took a lot of your
You
time
too.
at this point. Thank you very much for
That's all
being
right.
here in our
Thank
show.
you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Take
Bye.
care. Allah Hafiz. Bye
Yeah.
bye.
You too. Allah Hafiz. Bye. Bye.